Okay, so why is volume the number one factor when it comes to landing high ticket sales jobs? If you know anything about me, if you ever ask me, how do I land a high ticket sales job, Jackson? I'm going to tell you volume, volume, volume. That is the number one factor to success in landing a high ticket sales job. Now, that being said, why? Right? First thing, volume negates luck. If you know anything about Alex Hormozy, you would have heard this before. It simply means if you do more, you reduce the reliance on luck. You reduce your hope that my couple of applications turns into a great job offer. Instead, I'm going to do a shitload of applications and I'm going to guarantee myself a good job offer, right? So volume negates luck, which is what we need if we want to make sure we land the best possible high ticket sales job. Because we don't just want to land a high ticket sales job, we want to land the best one. And I'll talk about that later on. But 10,000 hours versus 20 hours. Now, you may be wondering, what does this mean? I'm sure you've probably heard the saying, right, that it takes 10,000 hours to master a skill, right? Which is true. You're not going to be the greatest Loom video high ticket sales job application individual in less than 10,000 hours. I mean, maybe less than 10,000 hours, right? But no one's going to spend 10,000 hours to master the skill of landing high ticket sales jobs. Instead, what matters is 20 hours. 20 hours is the time that it takes to get highly proficient at a skill, right? For example, if you went and you played table tennis over the next 2 or 3 days, you spend a total of 20 hours playing table tennis. I can guarantee you that after those 20 hours, you're going to be significantly better at table tennis. I can speak from experience. I did this the other day. My girlfriend and I played a hell of a lot of table tennis. And she's very good at paddle sports. And so I had to get a lot better to be competitive, you know? And we probably spent maybe 15 hours in total over the course of a week or so. And I got significantly better at playing table tennis in just 20 hours, right? I got relatively competitive. I would be highly competitive with average players, right? Simply because in a short span of time, I spent 20 hours, right, to get relatively decent at this skill. And the same thing goes for anything in life, but with high ticket sales job applications. If you can spend in the next couple of days 20 hours in total of reviewing job opportunities, applying to job opportunities, filming Loom videos, reaching out to business owners, you will get significantly better, significantly more competent at that skill than you were before. And most people won't do that. Most people won't spend 20 hours over the next few days. And so if you want an edge, just do that. Just do the volume. Just spend the time, right? Now, the main concept here that I want to cover is more at-bats equals more interviews, which equals more offers, right? If you do more applications, you will inevitably, no matter what, get more interviews. And if you get more interviews, you will inevitably, no matter what, get more job offers. And what we want here is not the most, or is not a job offer. It is the most job offers possible, because the most job offers possible means the highest likelihood. We negate the factor of luck that the one job offer we get is really good. We almost guarantee that one of the job offers we get is a really solid one. And so when we vet this offer, we can determine this is the right offer for me, right? And this aligns with my goals and my personal priorities. And I've got a nice little visual for you here, right? We've got two different people we're going to consider. We've got the perfectionist and we've got our recommended volume strategist, right? The perfectionist has 10 out of 10 applications. The perfect applications. Their Loom videos are great. They do their research. They fill out the application form perfectly. Everything is awesome, which is good. It's absolutely good to have amazing Looms and amazing applications, right? But this perfectionist is probably going to take an hour per application, right? Maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour and a half, right? Because they got to do their research. They got to redo their Loom multiple times. And so they get 10 applications done in total, right? The perfectionists, the perfect ones, which I can almost guarantee you, even if you're not doing the volume, right, and you're spending time, your applications probably aren't perfect anyway. And so it's very difficult to be this individual no matter what. But they're going to do 10 applications over the course of 10 hours, right? They're going to get 5 total interviews, which is pretty much the highest that I've seen, is a 50% application to interview, which is amazing. Don't expect that, right? But that's a 10 out of 10 applications, maybe going to get a 50% response rate. And then of those interviews, let's consider a baseline level that you're pretty decent at interviewing. You get a 50% close rate on your interviews. That leads to 2 to 3 job offers for the perfectionist. Not bad, but not very good either, in my opinion, right? Because the chances are maybe one of these is really solid, right? But we want to negate the factor of luck. And so the chances are one of these or a couple of these aren't great. And we want great options to pick from. And so instead, we go with our volume strategist option here, right? We send 7 to 8 out of 10s, right? So they're decent, but they're not perfect by any means, right? They're good. They're solid. We don't fuck up the Loom video. We put a little bit of effort into the application form. But realistically, it just needs to be a 7 or 8, right? On average, we're going to take maybe 12 and a half minutes, right? 10 to 15 minutes per application, which is fair, right? A couple of attempts at the Loom video, a little bit of time to write up a message, or a little bit of time to fill out the application form, but it shouldn't take you too long, right? And so we're going to do a total of 200 applications, right? And this is at a 5 application per hour rate. And so that gives us a 40 total hours of effort that we've put into applying to these jobs, right? Based on that, we're going to get a much lower response rate compared to this 50%. Let's consider 10 to 15%, right? And at the low end, 10%. We're going to get 20 to 30 interviews, right, in total, which is great because now we've got, again, more at-bats, gives us more interviews, which is going to give us more offers. And at that same 50% close rate, we get 10 to 15 job offers. Wow, right? We're looking at anywhere from, what's this, a 3.3 to a 7.5x in terms of job offers on the table. That's where we want to be, because that means we have drastically more chance that one of these offers that we've vetted and we've got a job offer from is really, really good, right? And so the question here becomes, what about efficiency, right? Because sure, it's all well and good for me to send 200 applications, but where's the efficiency in that when I could do perfect applications? Here's the math on that, right? In difference, right, we're sending 20 times more applications, 10 versus 200. Response rate drastically lower, right? 50% to 10 to 15%. So we're drastically lower in efficiency there on conversions. Interviews, 5 to 20 to 30, right? And let's just consider the low end. So 5 to 20, 4 times more interviews, right? The same conversion rate to job offer. So we're looking at 2 to 3 versus 10 to 15 offers. Now, the time per application is 60 minutes. So we're spending a total of 10 hours to get 2 to 3 job offers versus 12 and a half minutes. So spending 40 hours to get a total of 10 to 15 offers, which means the difference in offers per hour is higher with the volume player because we just had more at bats. We gave ourselves more opportunity. And so the efficiency still lies in being this volume guy, right? In doing more, in getting more applications out there. So make sure that that's you, right? Make sure that you're doing the volume and being the volume player so that you can have a higher offer per hour rate than anyone else, because that's what we want to optimize for, is more job offers per hour of work, right? Because then if you work the most possible, you're going to have the most job offers possible. And that comes with being this volume player. And so that's really what I want to hammer home in this video. Now, not just one offer, right? I've been talking about it throughout this video a couple of times, right? 2 to 3 offers, right? We want to negate the luck, right? And so why do we not just want one job offer on the table? Why do we need more offers to land a job? Well, you don't, because you've already landed a job if you get 2 to 3 offers. But if you have 15 offers, the chances are one of them is a really good one. And not all of the offers in this space, not all of the offers that I'm connected with, not all the offers in the world are going to be great, right? And so you need to vet offers for your personal alignment. Do I like this company? Do I like what we sell? Do I like who we sell it to? And you also need to make sure that you align yourself with the income potential, the true OTE, which there's another video that I had earlier on that explains how to calculate true OTE, because that's important. What can I actually make in this offer? That is what we want to look for. And that is why we need multiple offers, is so that the one that I pick can be the one that I'm personally aligned with, that has a really good true OTE, that has good scalability, that has good morals. Like everything needs to be aligned, right? That's the position you want to put yourself in. So I hope that makes sense as to why we need we need more than just one offer. And the final thing I want to talk about is the skill curve. So being a good applicant for high ticket sales job opportunities is a skill. It's a skill to learn how to film looms. It's a skill to learn how to fill out application forms. It's a skill to learn how to type up messages. It's a skill to learn how to follow up, right? All of this stuff combines into the skill of landing high ticket sales jobs, which is a different skill to being a good sales rep, right? And so I put this together, which is, thanks to Claude, right? If you don't use Claude and you use ChatGPT or something else, you need to get on Claude. I'll save that though for another time. But this is the skill curve, right? This is the curve that you will follow depending on how many applications you do per day to get to a point where your skill level is at a good enough point to where you get interviews and get job offers, right? And so looking at this, here are the different levels, right? The interview ready threshold is anywhere kind of above this 65% line. This is an arbitrary number. Like this is not a fact, right? Because I don't have enough data to really tell you what the fact is here, and I don't think I ever will. It's more nuanced than this, but this is overarchingly the factor, which is if I do 20 applications per day, because of the volume that I'm doing, because of the opportunity and the volume negating the luck, right? Because of this volume, I'm going to get better at Loom videos, and I'm going to get better at Loom videos faster. I'm going to get better at applying and filling out applications forms, and I'm going to do that faster because of the iteration cycle, right? I'm going through this process of filming a Loom video. I'm recognizing what doesn't work, what does work, what sounds good, what doesn't sound good, how I sit down, how I set myself up, how I create my framework for the video. I'm learning all of this stuff at a higher rate because I'm doing it more and more and more and more. And so I can be more confident in my ability and therefore get better. And it's in this, it's obviously logarithmic, right? Like we're going up and flattening out, but realistically it's exponential, right? Like you doing those repetitions gets you to a point where you are better faster. And so we get to this point, if we're doing 20 applications per day, it's going to take us roughly only 5 days, 4 or 5 days to get past this threshold where we are good enough that our applications will turn into job offers. If we do 10 applications per day, so we do half, we're going to almost double that timeline, right? It's going to take us 8 to 9 days to get to that point. If we do only 5 applications per day, it's going to take us 18 days to get to that point. If we do only 3 applications per day, it's going to take us 30 days to get to that point. And again, this is not set in stone or anything like that. If we do 1 application every weekday, well, we're not even going to get to that point in 3 months, right? And again, arbitrary, this is not fact, so take this with a grain of salt. But what this is a demonstration of how important the volume is, how valuable it is for you to do as many applications per day as you possibly can, to iterate faster and go through the cycles of learning what does and doesn't work for you personally and generally in the application process, to put yourself in a position where you are ready to land these offers and get these interviews sooner than someone who does things slower, right? And this curve is going to be different for everyone. And again, this is not something to live by, but if you can do 100 applications in one day, you're probably going to get to this point where you're good at Loom videos and you understand the questions that come up in an application form and you can answer them confidently, and you know kind of your framework for reaching out to business owners with your Loom video to apply when it's a direct message application. And so all of this is going to be moved forwards, moved earlier, which is what you want, right? I assume you want to land a job as soon as possible. So all of this to say, volume is still and will always be the most important factor in achieving success in this space when it comes to landing jobs specifically. So the more volume you can do, the faster you're going to learn, the faster you're going to get it to a point where you've crossed this threshold, the more opportunity you're going to put on your table to potentially land offers from, and therefore the more efficient you're going to be in getting job offers for every hour of time that you put into applying and interviewing. So hope that makes sense. If you got any questions or want to be directed to anything specific, feel free to always reach out. And yeah,